let's take a look at what we know about Camila Olmos so far. The sheriff's office says she recently went through a breakup, but there's no evidence of anything nefarious. Sheriff also confirms that Olmos was not detained by ICE, but acknowledges that her no longer being in the country is a possibility here. Investigators say that the only items known to be on her were her car keys and possibly her driver's license. She left her cell phone and her iPad behind. There is some reporting that she had the past struggles with depression that we, of course, want to focus on here in this portion of the segment. Let me bring in forensic psychiatrist Dr. Carole Lieberman and talk about whether this information about her having some mental health difficulties should be a factor here for the investigators. Dr. Carole, what say you when you heard this reporting about her having some difficulties in the past?
Yes, well, I don't want to believe it, but it is looking like that could well be the answer, what happened. And there are a number of reasons why. I mean, of course, the fact that she was depressed in the past, and there are reports that she performed some kind of self-harm. I haven't been able to find what specifically, but, that is a predictor of future self-harm. But also, when she was talking to her best friend, she said, bye, I love you. And when she was talking to her father the last time for each of these, she said to him, bye, I love you. Now, if that's sort of her normal way of saying goodbye to them, then that isn't really very significant. But that is often what somebody will say. There's kind of a chilling feeling that you get when you think about that.
Mm-hmm. Right, Dr. Carole. Dr. Carole, one taking their driver's license and car keys to commit suicide, if that were the case here, we don't know. Your thoughts on those things?
Well, yes. What your other guest was saying, certainly that does point in the other direction. And I certainly hope that which is worse, being sex trafficked or suicide? At least sex trafficked, you have a hope that you can be returned. But, there's also another little wrinkle in here, which is when they say that she had an amicable breakup with her boyfriend. Well, for most girls, 19-year-old girls, breakups aren't amicable. There is some pain connected with it. And there was an interview with someone who was her boyfriend, although they haven't said exactly when he was her boyfriend, whether he was the one that she broke up with or he broke up with her. This is Carlos Mendoza. Nathan Gonzalez. And he is really being very, very helpful to the police. And he posted on social media pictures of the two of them in very romantic kinds of settings, positions, smiling and things like that. And I don't know, there's just something about that it could be totally innocent, but there's just something about that seems a little too, like perhaps he's feeling guilty because he broke up with her, if he was the one, or guilty because he did do something nefarious to her. I don't know, but it just seems totally out of it seems it's like a strange part of the picture, and there really hasn't been much reported on it.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into that, Dr. Carole. We don't have any reporting here in Court TV, here at Court TV on that. We'll have to research it further. Thank you. Just speaking generally, Manuel, even if there is a quote-unquote amicable breakup, as an investigator, do you go to vet that individual and information gather in any case?
Absolutely. I mean, the boyfriend is one of my top, unfortunately, suspects that I would check. That's the first thing. And besides the digital footprint with all her, cell phones, the iPad, and, any electronic devices she had. But in a case like this, like I said, the fact that he's coming out, the fact that he's showing pictures, the fact that he's so proactive, I don't feel that it's him. I do feel that this is a sex trafficking case. And Julie, I want to give a potential solution. To find this girl, one of the steps you need to take, and this is what I do when I do missing persons, you take a 50-mile radius, make sure you put up pictures on every gas station, laundromat, everywhere. Put a GoFundMe, raise the funds to get a big type of reward to release her. Remember, sex traffickers are about one, money making. We put a $25,000, $100,000 reward for her, they will consider on releasing her. There's no doubt in my mind that this beautiful young angel was most likely sex trafficking. It is too many indicators showing that. The driver's license, the keys, the phone on the bed, all these things are indicators of she went out to meet somebody, show herself. Like you said, Julie, there's no doubt in my mind. This girl, if I had to bet my license on it, she's sex trafficking.
Excellent insight. And what you're sharing, Manuel, this is great information for any case. As you both know, you and Dr. Carole know, we have viewers all over the world who watch our programs on Court TV. And yeah, as many flyers as you can put up, as many people as you can tell, you're right. Get her information out there and reward money. It does. I used to volunteer with one of the Crime Stoppers organizations when I lived in North Carolina, and you know it's amazing what those money rewards can do. You're right. Manuel Gomez, Dr. Carole Lieberman, thank you kindly. We'll continue following the case involving Camila Olmos' disappearance. Welcome back. This morning, our spotlight is on the cruise ship homicide of 18-year-old Anna Kepner and what happened after she was discovered dead in her cabin, stuffed underneath her bed. Kepner was sharing the cabin with her 16-year-old stepbrother, referred to as TH, as well as another male sibling. TH is now considered a suspect in her death, according to family court documents. He's also reportedly saying he doesn't remember anything from that night. And newly released text messages are indicating some possible damage control when it comes to his alleged involvement. His mom texting his dad, who was not on the cruise, quote, "I need you to call me ASAP. It's an emergency." Goes on to say, quote, "I was able to talk to him last night for under 2 minutes briefly. He just kept repeating over and over he can't remember anything." Let's talk about this. Let's bring back in forensic psychiatrist Dr. Carole Lieberman. Dr. Carole, let's start with this child not remembering anything or saying that he doesn't remember anything. What do you make of that?
Well, it is possible. Sometimes when people have a big trauma, a big shock, they can have a memory blank for certain aspects. But I think that this is just really just he's just lying. He's just trying to cover up, trying to get suspicion off him. His grandparents have talked about him. His grandfather said that he had demons in his past that he's been trying to deal with, and his grandmother said that he's very quiet. So it's interesting. There are some emails where they're talking about the kids being in therapy. It's a little hard to parse out who's getting therapy with whom. But in any case, I think that the divorce was a very traumatic event for all of the children, and really not done carefully enough. It seems like it was really a quick kind of, he met her and he moved her into his house, and his father. It just seems really, not to have taken into consideration how the children felt about each other. As we talked about before, Anna was really afraid of her stepbrother, and did not want to be with him. And so what the stepmother is saying about, three amigos, they wanted to be together. Anna didn't want to be together. It just seemed like that was, they were stuffing them into the same room.
Dr. Carole, your thoughts, if this child was suffering from some mental health difficulties, and obviously we don't have his medical records, we don't know if he was or wasn't, what the extent of them were, if so, how problematic is it that he's being put in a room, with a young lady, not his sibling, a young lady, who's a step sibling, where, anything could happen without parental supervision?
Right, especially when we know the ex-boyfriend of Anna has said and has tried to tell the family that when he was on FaceTime with her, that he saw this stepbrother get on top, and Anna was in bed. He saw the stepbrother get on top of her, and he tried to warn her family. You know, clearly these texts or emails show that the family, or at least the stepmother, is more concerned with protecting her son than she is with Anna. And it is a little disturbing that Anna's father hasn't been more, active in terms of not being willing to protect the stepbrother. I mean, we don't know all the details that go on behind the scenes, but it just seems like remember that the stepmother said that she asked a travel agent when she was deciding like who to put in what room. She asked a travel agent. And obviously, she should have asked a therapist. Like it's obvious. It should have been obvious that you don't put three teenagers, I mean, particularly Anna and her stepbrother, particularly if they would have listened and knew that Anna was afraid of her stepbrother. She used to sleep with other friends' homes sometimes, or she would sleep in the dining room to get away from her stepbrother. So putting her in a room with him, and then also not locking out the younger brother, her real brother. All of this, it was such an obvious recipe for disaster. It's so sad that all of this happened.
Mm-hmm. You're so right. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing, Dr. Carole, a recipe for disaster. This beautiful young lady should be with us today, and we're going to continue following the case of Anna Kepner's death and report any updates here. Dr. Carole Lieberman, thank you so much.